I'm Frederick March. I'm here to show you what the best practices are to change your life and to become more successful in everything you do. This is episode 12, Purpose. Hi, how you doing? Frederick here. Nice to see you again. Okay, so today's podcast is going to be about purpose. You know, I'm going through a lot of changes in the way I feel about myself and envisioning and all this kind of stuff. I've talked about it numerous times in the podcast as of late. But one of the things that I have been noticing that seems to be more of a prevalent thought in me is my purpose. Now, you all know that at this point that I am ordained minister, and part of my purpose is to help people to see that walking with the Lord has greater benefits than just the end results of spending eternity in heaven with God, which is a fantastic, situation. But it's not the only thing that comes from a relationship with the Almighty. And so that's part of my purpose, but more so since in the last little while that I've been doing a lot of internal work and changing the way I think about myself and changing the way I see myself and, expecting a greater result in my life than I've had achieved at this point. Getting to the point where I'm believing that I can achieve that greater thing. More so now that I start thinking about my purpose in life, my purpose, I want to help people more than anything else. I want to help them out of their difficult situations, out of their struggle of thinking that they are not sufficient to get the job done when they are. You are. You are here because you're sufficient, because you have the ability to get there. And it may seem hokey for me to say that to you, knowing that I don't really know you. But I don't have to know you. I know Him who created you. And I know that He doesn't create superfluous creations. You are specific to a purpose that you have in your life. Our first thing that we have as any kind of created being that we are is to acknowledge, love, and admire the Creator. And then recognize as the creation that there is more in us than we even realize there is. We have an ability to do so much more than what we do. Our purpose is so much greater than we realize it is. Now, I am not saying that your purpose is not something that could be you ministering to 1, 2, 3 people your whole life. And those 1, 2, 3 people minister to other people, or minister to this person, or change their life and then no longer feel the need to end it and want to perceive this world as one blessed by God instead of one that's cursed. That could be your purpose. You don't know where that could lead. You don't know. People used to say all the time, you don't know when you're going to lead maybe to the Lord the next evangelist that can lead millions to the Lord, or lead the person that leads them to the Lord. It doesn't matter. But if your purpose is to minister to people, to talk to people, to help people, to serve people, if that's your purpose, well then you do it 100%, because that's where your blessings will come from. It is interesting to me that my purpose is bigger I believe now, than I've ever thought it would be. And I'm not even sure that I understand completely what my purpose is. I just know that what I'm doing here with this podcast is what I'm supposed to be doing. What I was doing here with changing the way I see myself, doing some inner work, perceiving myself, is bigger than me. If I can understand what I'm doing in order to achieve what I will achieve, and to be able to explain it to you in a way that you can do the same thing, that's a glorious purpose. One of the things that I love doing, and I do it as often as I possibly can, is being still and knowing He is God. Now, I have recently listening to some podcasts and have heard people talking about meditation practices and being able to shut your mind down and to clear your mind of all details. You don't know where you are, you don't know who you are, you don't know what your job is, you don't know anything. All you know is you're sitting quietly still and shutting everything down, which opens you up into another frequency of delta, alpha, all those waves of spiritual understanding, which is, I know is exactly how we spend time with God. How I spend time being still and knowing He is God, as I'm accessing that through the mechanism that God has put in place for me to do that, because that's what He wants from us. He wants us to spend time with Him. He wants us to fellowship with Him. He wants us to love Him and cherish Him and just get into that place and be quiet and just spend time with Him. Not asking for things, not expecting for things, just sitting quietly and being in His presence. He gets as much joy or more from that than we do. But then what I've heard, because these people are out there doing their thing and they're figuring these things out that we may have learned a long time ago and then just put it down because, it's meditation, it's not scriptural. Yes, it is scriptural. All these things are based on what God has created. Man has figured things out and are starting to see things and going into a lab and seeing how the mind is doing what it's doing. That doesn't negate that it's from God. That reinforces that it's a created thing. It's a process that we need to go into in order to achieve a certain thing in life. Changing the way we think about ourselves, changing the way we think about other people, changing the way we react to the world around us. So let's do that. Let's get into that. And if you listen to a podcast and this person is talking about, that doesn't mean that it's not a valid thing to do. If it gets you to the feeling of presence of God and you feel that presence and you enjoy that presence, you're spending time with God. So it's interesting to me that what I've already been doing and then kind of restarted doing again is now being shown to me in other podcasts that I'm watching or listening to that are describing the process that's taking place. What's happening? How is it doing it? What is it doing? Why is it doing it? And when you get to that point where you forget everything and you're just sitting in that quiet, peaceful place, you get to that level of creativity where you can then envision what you want to accomplish. You can see the end goal of where you want to be, and you can think about that, focus on that, get as much detail, put an emotional reaction to that situation. And because your mind's in that kind of wave, delta wave, whatever it's called, I don't remember which one it is, that it's manifesting that kind of creative level. So then your body starts to react saying, okay, because it doesn't know the difference between an imagined situation, because it's a memory or it's an image that you're creating, a future thing. It's an envisioning. So you have a memory or you have envisioning. Either way, your mind sees the image and feels the emotions and say, okay, that's real. So it's either you're remembering the negative stuff in the past and feeling the negative emotions, and your mind and your everything thinks, oh, that's a real situation, and you really feel that way, and it perpetuates the negative stuff, and you can't get out of that situation. But if you start envisioning something more positive and seeing the future as something positive and where you want to go and how you want to get there, you get very excited about those things. And all of a sudden your mind starts saying, well, okay, this is reality. Either one, it's reality to them. So this says it's reality. Either it's negative reality or it's positive reality. So go for the positive. Why not? So it takes this positive reality that you're envisioning, seeing the future, and starts to make your consciousness aware of opportunities to see those things you didn't see before. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't mean like, boom, you're now wealthy, or you're a public speaker, or whatever the situation is. It doesn't just happen like that. But what happens is you start noticing things. You start seeing things. You start making connections. All of a sudden, somebody comes along that's the exact person that you need to talk to in order to get something accomplished that you've been trying to get accomplished for a while, but you didn't know how. And then you're like, oh, wow, how did that happen? I don't know how that happened. I didn't force the issue. I just put it out there, and I just had positive feelings about it all day and kept on bringing it up and thinking about it and feeling positive about it. And then all of a sudden, things start lining up. Things starts coming together. That's God's plan for us. That's how he designed us, to be creative, to come up with solutions to things, to think about things, to spend time with him, to worship, to all those things, wonderful stuff. But also in business, also in helping people and coaching people. My mind is just, the synapses are just firing like crazy these days, because all of a sudden I'm starting getting more ideas for products that I used to not have too much of anymore, because it just stopped. But now it could be also that I've changed my eating habits. I'm not having sugar all the time. I'm not having salty foods all the time. I'm not having processed stuff all the time. So maybe it frees up my mind to think more clearly. Maybe I even just got rid of dairy because I was having milk in my coffee, and I have cheese still every once in a while. I think that's okay. But milk in my coffee, and I was noticing that there was other issues, but I'm noticing things that I didn't notice before. I've noticed how I feel that I didn't notice before. And it's making me to make changes, because I'm like, I don't want that anymore. So let's change it. So I'm not going to do that anymore. So now I have a barista oat milk to put in my coffee. And it tastes like a coffee. It doesn't know any difference to me. And it's not causing those issues that was happening before. So, but maybe I wouldn't have even noticed those little things before. But now I'm starting to get rid of the stuff out of my life that I don't need to be there. And I'm starting to notice other things. Starting to notice the way I think about things. Starting to notice the way I feel about things. Starting to notice when a reaction is coming up at me, and able to intellectually go, oh, wait a second. Why? And then stop it. And then not react. In fact, I have been shutting that down and go, now I might get to a point where I start feeling the emotions even, and I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. Why am I feeling this way? Oh, that happened. Oh, well, that's not reality, so shut up. And then I know people have been saying that they find it very difficult to shut down their mind and not think about anything. And there's techniques and methodology in order to do something like that, to focus on your breathing and only on your breathing. And then if you start to wane your focus, just realize you're waning your focus, put it right back on your breathing again. Put it right back. For me, I don't think about my breathing. I have practiced a technique where I learned how to relax my body, and then I used the counting system to count down from 3 to 1. And then go back into it, and then go back to it. Now I'm at the point where all I have to do is sit down, shut my mind down, 3, 2, 1, and boom, I'm in that relaxed state that's ready to go. And so it doesn't take me long to get into that process of envisioning and seeking the Lord and spending quality time, just being still. But it's a process, and there's lots of places out there where you can get information about this kind of thing. I'm not your one source for all information, because I can't be. I can only be what I'm doing for me, and if it works for me, maybe it'll work for you. Give it a shot. If it doesn't, There's lots of other people who are wanting to help you as well. And I enjoy listening and watching those other people as well. Because I'm not a finished product. I am definitely not a finished product. I'm in the process of walking through that path, but I'm not finished. So I'm always looking for my coach. I'm always looking for the people that I want to surround myself. They say that you're the sum of the 5 people that you're closest to. That doesn't necessarily have to mean that these people have to be your friends that you're walking through life with. It could mean a podcast person that you really enjoy, or a YouTube person you really enjoy, who is speaking life into you and speaking encouragement into you, and then you walk into that situation. It could be a coach that you find online that you have a regular conversation with, who keeps you accountable, who will send you out encouraging messages. Like I did that for quite a while. I would send out an encouraging email to keep people on focus and to see how their progress was doing, and giving advice and stuff. So, that's a wonderful thing you could do for somebody, and somebody could do it for you. So there's lots of opportunity to do this. And, yes, it is complicated to shut that down. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, and there wouldn't be any motivation to do it. It's not easy, it's difficult, but it's worth every ounce of effort you put into it. I am on top of the world. I am not financially well off. I am struggling in that area. Physically, I am still working through that process. Emotionally, I'm still dealing with that process. I am not that person that you'd see that you look at and you go, wow, look, they have it all together. I don't have it all together, but I feel like I have it all together. I feel like I have already accomplished my goals that I haven't accomplished yet. I know they're mine. I know they're mine, and they're waiting for me down the road. Maybe not far down the road, but they're waiting for me down the road, and I see it. And so I'm preparing myself for that situation. I am walking to that situation. I am saying, okay, for me to be there, I can't be overweight. Physically, I need to be strong and healthy and fit in order to achieve that goal that I want to achieve. So I walk through that process of getting to that point where I can be healthy and fit for that person that I'm going to be. I am, like, even this shirt is like a newer shirt, and it's already too loose on my neck. It all crinkles up when I tie my tie on. So, and my suit is maybe a little too big, but it's still wearable, so it's okay. The tie, well, it's a tie. They're always gonna fit. So good. But so it's a process. It's a learning process. It's a changing process. I can see me there. And I know that I'm going to go from here to there, and I'm going to get it done, and I'm going to achieve the goal. I want to be able to encourage you to do the same thing. I really do. I so want to encourage you to do the same thing, because your purpose is very, very, very important. You are so important. The information that you have in your heart and the difficulties that you walk through in life, we need you to walk through that, to get yourself fit mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. Walk through that so we can see it. We need more examples of you, people like you, who are free from the bounds of life and are walking 100% in victory. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect. But try to be the best you can be. We need you. We need you so much. I may be able to speak to you and you will receive from me, because maybe you see something that you like, you admire. I don't know. It is not my purpose to portray somebody who's perfect. Maybe you see something that you can say, I can listen to what he has to say. I trust him. I see him and I believe what he says is true. And I am going to mimic, do what he's doing. But I pray that you do better than me. You achieve what I achieved and then 10 steps further. The whole planet is in need of you to step up, to do what's required. For me to step up, to do what's required, to change the way I think, change the way I feel. I think we're coming to this point of change on this planet. And all the stuff that's happening with the pandemic and financial stuff and all that stuff that's happening, countries who are just, there's a lot of nasty things happening, a lot of people in a real tough situation, and difficulty is going to come. You need to be solid in your foundation to know that when the difficulties come, you can still walk it through. Maybe you'll be at a place where financially you're in such a good spot, but then other people who are not can be blessed with your financial. I personally am hoping that that's the place that I get to. I want to be financially free and financially well off so I can help a lot of other people. Right now, I am in the need of financial situations. I am in struggle financially, but I'm working that out. I'm working it through. I want to start a business where I create products and to manufacture. I am a creative thinker, but I do not have the background to run that kind of business. And I am not an engineer, so when it comes to making a prototype of some of the products that I want to do, I have a great idea and I could probably come up with solutions on how to do that kind of thing. But the actual physical manifestation of creating that product, I don't have those skills. So I want to do that. I want to create products to make people's lives easier. I want to create businesses that allows me to financially support other people to help them to go into business. So I can be a partner with them and I can be the one financially supporting that situation and raising them up and teaching them how to run a business. I have a lot of plans for the future, a lot of goals that I want to achieve. I can see myself in the next little while owning multiple businesses, running multiple corporations, and enjoying every second of it because I know that the end goal is to help people. The end goal is to create a society. I want to surround myself with a society that are thinking like I'm thinking, who are positive, life-affirming, effort-taking people who are always checking to see why they feel the way they feel, why they think the way they think, changing if need be, and to walking out as full, productive, sound human beings. I'm so looking forward to that. I'm so looking forward to all that kind of situation. And I am just getting more and more excited about what I'm walking through. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this future that we're going to work together. I am happy and excited that if you're watching this, you take the steps to do what I'm doing, to change the way you think, change the way you believe, to envision yourself free, healthy, strong. Taking those micro steps, compound steps, to say, I'm going to change this today, and then this today, and then this tomorrow, and then this next day, and then compound, big change takes place. I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I want to give you a big hug, tell you that I love you in person. To me, that's exciting. That's wonderful. So happy. I'm just plain old stinking happy, full of peace and joy. I see a wonderful future. Despite the outside circumstances, inside, it's all pretty good. It's really pretty good. I'm not in the job I want to have. In fact, I don't want to have a job anymore. I want to run my own business. I want to be independent that way. I want to take control of that. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to happen very, very soon. Cool. Okay. I love you. Oh man, I love you. 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 Hi. I hope you can feel the truth in my heart about the fact that I love you and that I want from you nothing, but I want for you everything. You have within you the ability to do anything that you put in your heart to do. All things are possible for those who believe. Those who believe what? That all things are possible. So believe. All things are possible. Know that God himself says, so a man or a woman thinketh, so he is. If God says, however you think you are, you are. So maybe you should start thinking that you are successful, that you are fit, that you're healthy, that you're strong, that you're free from pain and suffering. You are not being controlled by food, circumstances, society, other people. You are more than capable of being successful in your life. Nothing by any means is impossible for you if you believe. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Bless you. Have a wonderful day. I am excited for mine and your future. See you on the next episode. Bless all y'all. Love you. Big hug. Bye.